Welcome back to RBP. It is me, Ross Bolen, and one of my neighbors is driving by with his music on too loudly so that I can feel the bass. That's frustrating, Jared. You should turn down your music when you get home, kids.
You never know if there's anybody podcasting on your street.
Yeah, come on. We're trying to run a fucking small business in here. Guess it's not their fault that we just happen to occupy a residential home. But seriously, I'm old now. That's what that means. Because I have never once turned down my music driving into any neighborhood ever. And I used to have an obnoxious sound system in the back of my car that I intentionally knew would piss off people who might be podcasting in their homes. At that point, it wasn't that they might be podcasting. It was that just they might be in there, masturbating or cooking, whatever humans do in their houses.
Do you think that now people, how it's come a bit to, hate podcasters and be like, everybody's got a podcast. Fuck you and your podcast bitch.
Yeah, I'm pretty. It's a frustrating bit. Let me comment on the bit before you move on. I hate it. Yeah, I hate it. I hate how true it is. I hate that every day I see another A-list person drop their new podcast, and I hate that every day I see another Z-list human. My third cousin twice removed's nephew, who somebody hit in the head with a skateboard when he was young. You shouldn't have a podcast, but he's dropping a podcast.
Do you think people are now targeting podcasters, and so that's why they turn their music up when they go into neighborhoods?
You think this might have been an act of terrorism, is what you're suggesting?
This might have been anti-podcaster terrorism at the hands of somebody who...
I mean, it's possible. Sometimes when the yard guys show up when we're recording, I think to myself, what if this is a coordinated attack?
And I always think when that happens that you're a hero, because I go, there's no way they're podcasting right now. There's a guy with a weed whacker literally 3 feet from Ross's head.
Right? And I'm in here just totally focused, making jokes. Hero. Pin a badge on me, Jared. Not a police badge, please. I'm not a snitch. But some kind of badge. Let's go into 2021. Exit 2021 hating on law enforcement. Is that what you wanted to do? You suggested the whole episode be about that.
We we did defund them. I think we should...
Did we?
I don't know, actually.
I don't either.
We should end 2022 with badges. I don't know how we're going to get them. Maybe one of us has
badges?
Yeah.
We don't need no stinking badges.
What's that from?
Wow. It was announced today that Betty White passed away right before we started recording. 99 years old. Man, almost made it. Almost made it to 2022. Almost made it to 100. In fact, she's on the cover of People magazine right now. If we went to the grocery store and we were checking out and we looked to our left, you would see Betty White on the cover of People. And it says, Betty White at 100.
Oh, it sucks. Her birthday was January 17th.
Do you think People magazine is the new Madden curse?
Shit.
It's possible.
They just named... Oh, yeah, that was Time. Time just named Elon their person of the year.
Yeah, I think that immediately discredited both of them somehow in my eyes. Look, again, drive a Tesla, own Tesla stock. This is not financial advice. I like Elon as a dude for business, for that company. I don't like him as some kind... I don't look to him as like a humanitarian guide for civilization. That is not how I look at him. It's how a lot of people look at him.
Well, he
weirds me out.
I read on Twitter yesterday that he claimed that it's possible that people who eat ass might have more vaccine resistance than people who get, COVID resistance than people who get the vaccine. Granted, it was a meme, but,
You saw a meme that said that Elon Musk said that if you eat ass, you're more resistant to COVID?
I saw Elon Musk respond to a meme, and the meme implied people who eat ass are not going to get COVID, and Elon replied, probably true, IMO, or something like that.
Did real Elon respond?
Oh, yeah.
See, he can't be on the... I'm sorry, but he can't. In the same way that I forfeited the right to ever be on the cover of Time when I pissed myself in Hayes County Jail on the floor, passed out. He forfeited when he decided to tweet like a fucking 12-year-old every day.
I do feel a need to point something out, and it's something I learned a while back. So Time's Person of the Year, right? You always thought that that's supposed to be somebody who's supposed to be held in high regard. Do you know who won that multiple times? Hitler.
Huh?
Yeah. So Time Person of the Year is actually not meant to be the best person of the year. It's the most notable person of the year.
Oh.
So that's why Hitler won it back in the 40s or 30s.
And then again, I'm assuming during World War II.
Yeah. So
wait, they were just handing out Person of the Year during World Wars?
Uh-huh. And Hitler got it. So it's just supposed to be the most notable, like, impactful person. So I think Elon was for the crypto stuff, for the the other shit he does, the cars,
Market manipulation. Oh, the cars.
in the market manipulation. Yeah, I guess that's why they picked
I'm
him.
fact checking the shit out of this right now. Can't believe. Fact check. Time magazine did not praise Hitler with 1938 Man of the Year.
Yeah, they didn't praise him, but he was Man of the Year.
First person to appear on the cover was Charles Lindbergh in 1928. A decade later, Adolf was Man of the Year in 1938. Controversy followed and continues to this day, according to USA Today.
Both of them are anti-Semites. Fun fact.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
See, that's, well, again, Person of the Year doesn't necessarily mean Best Person of the Year.
Exactly.
Just person.
So this.
And he is kind of, if you had to pick a person from this year, I guess, yeah, Elon. Who was last year? Fauci?
Honestly, probably.
He probably should have been.
Or maybe it was like a group of people. Maybe it was like climate scientists or something. I don't know.
Are we podcast of the year yet?
Yeah.
Has anyone announced that?
We are.
Self-proclaimed? We should, you know what? I'm not even joking about this. I'm serious. We should be allowed to say who is the best podcast of the year each year. And we'll never even pick us again. But this year it's us. 2021, it's Jared and I. We win. Please clap, Jared. It's Jared and I, podcast of the year, the Ross Bolen podcast. We did it, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, we got them. But we will never pick ourselves again. But we should be allowed to pick. I'm serious. I feel like we are more qualified than any living humans to make that choice. Just my personal opinion.
How many different podcasts have you listened to in 2022? 2021.
That question seems irrelevant to what we do moving forward, Jared, and the good work we'll be doing together in 2022 when I listen to every podcast that's made. Every single stinking one. To Jared's point, none. Not one episode that wasn't Bolen Media made.
I listen to a lot of podcasts.
I don't. I don't know how you do it, but I don't. I can't. No. I talk, well, one day, Jared, if you're having to record as many episodes a week as I am, you may come to this place where talking becomes like the most valuable natural resource your body can distribute other than cum. And I can't even, I can't. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Now can we do a cum joke in every segment?
Yeah, well, I have a really good question right now. You just spawned this for me.
Mm-hmm.
If bodily resources, both fluids and solids, were given prices, which would be the most valuable on a per gram basis?
Blood, though.
But our body has a lot of blood. It's got to be something that it's not produced that much of.
Blood.
Scarcity's got me involved here.
Oh, it's the cum then. Sorry. Cum. It's sperm. Here.
But you can make
blood can save an existing human life. Cum can create a new human life or multiple new human lives if you're talking about a multi-roper. Now, that's a whole nother level of creation, Jared. And it's something that the blood is just not capable of. I'm sure someone's out there going, fecal matter, because you can solve AIDS and cancer and fucking swine flu with it. And I'm like, fuck you, man, it's cum.
What about earwax and boogers? I don't know a use for them yet, but like it's kind of more scarce.
Like a construction material long term, right? When all the other materials are gone, those are what we're using to get our houses to stick together. The pieces of material that make the houses to stick together.
Yeah. Mortar.
We won't have cement or mortar. We'll be using earwax and boogers.
Now, something that's also important to consider. You save all your earwax to make a candle, right?
Yeah, I also save all my toenail clippings because other people can take them and put the evil on them if you don't.
It's like a voodoo situation, right? Yeah,
Very much so.
You need to be the custodian of your own toenail clippings.
Fucking A, Jerry.
And if you've been flushing yours down the toilet or putting them in the trash,
you messed up.
Like there's a guy who's putting
got all your toenail
and
he's fucking with them right now. Doing voodoo on him right now. I learned this in The Sopranos. when you go and clip your own toenails in the bathroom, as quickly as you can, sweep them up, collect them into a little plastic bag, put that in a locked safe, turn on the laser-guided missile system that protects it, and walk away with your strap.
Because it's step on a crack, break your mother's back, give a man your toenail, that's a big fail.
And you'll never get him back. Yeah, that's right. What were you saying? Betty White.
Oh,
rest in peace.
Yep.
Rest in peace, Betty White. Almost made it to 100. Not because... because we have many Zoomer listeners, in our audience who may not be as aware of Betty White and her accomplishments. I wanted to quickly recap her career. Or actually, I just wanted to read this thing from People Magazine because they do it really well and better than I can. So, from People Magazine, a warm and popular presence on the small screen, White's career dated back to the early days of the medium and spanned decades, long before her hilarious turns on the Mary Tyler Moore Show, one of the most famous television shows in history, if you're not aware, in the 70s, and The Golden Girls, one of the most famous television shows in history.
Still very funny, holds up well.
From the 80s. That's 2 decades, and she hit a classic all-time television show in each one. In 1952, she appeared in the I Love Lucy like Life with Elizabeth. I didn't hear about that one, a show she also produced.
Nope.
In 2010, at age 87, she enjoyed an awards-laden resurgence when, after starring on a Snickers commercial during the Super Bowl, polls and petitions overwhelmingly named her the public's choice to host Saturday Night Live, MC various award shows, and even be a sergeant's date at a Marine Corps ball. I don't know what that has to do with anything.
Is that hard?
Is that difficult for an old woman? Are they suggesting because she was old she shouldn't be somebody's fucking date?
Or maybe
seems ageist.
Maybe there's not a lot
People.
of spots at the ball.
Maybe People Magazine is ageist. That's what I'm saying.
I feel like most of their readers are probably over the age of 70, so that would be a pretty bad business decision by them.
You think people over 70 can read? Most of them can't.
Maybe they weren't taught that.
I know that maybe 2 are listening right now, and they're like, I can read, you little whippersnapper. And it's like, no, you fucking can't. You're fucking... I know you think you can read, but you can't. You don't even know half these words. They were invented after you were 60.
Whippersnapper.
All these new words we got, they're still throwing around stuff like whippersnapper. And you and I are out here saying it's lit, you know? They don't know what that means, Jared.
It's lit, no cap.
That's right. Facts.
Facts on God.
Big facts.
Respectfully.
They don't know about big facts, small facts. They don't know about any of that shit. Low key, the high key, mid key, mid. They don't know about that shit. They do know about that shit. That's all they ever smoked, the olds. Mids.
Yeah.
Let's just rip on old people more. They're not here. That's the fun part about this podcast. They don't know how to get here. It's not like we're in a comedy club and we have to be careful because there might be an old woman or old man listening. There are literally 0 old people listening right now. We can say whatever we want about old people.
You started this anti-old person rant by claiming People Magazine was ageist.
During a Betty White, what's that called when you die?
In memoriam? Eulogy?
I don't know.
You went, People Magazine is ageist. And then you went on like a 5-minute rant of incredibly ageist things.
Well, they're not here. So it's funny to me.
Do you think just because they have old people...
Bro, if there is one person over the age of 70 listening right now, I'm not kidding. If they can somehow prove that, not a setup, which I don't know how they would do that, but I'll give you $500. I'll give you $500. If there's a 70-plus-year-old listening right now, I will give Jared $500 if you can prove that you listened to the show before this moment. This isn't your grandson brought you the fucking show, and now you're filming it going, oh my God, look, my grandpa's old. Give Jared $500. Fuck that. You have to have already been listening, old-timer. Don't try to pull a quick one on me. You're not quick anymore. Jared, if there's an over 70-year-old listening, you get $500. And if there's not, I get to make fun of old people as much as I want when it's not Call Your Grandparents Month. Deal?
Yeah, but there's no way you can prove that person...
There's got to be a way they can prove it, man. There's got to be a way. I have faith. I think you're going to get $500.
Maybe you'll have to call them and then quiz them.
Look, here's the thing. There's a chance, an off chance, that 10 years ago or whenever it was, or almost 10 years ago, that the TFM book dropped, that some old dude who who was in a fraternity in 1930 or whatever, bought the book, right? And was like, oh, this Ross kid's funny. Maybe one day he'll have a podcast. And then now it happened and he listens. You know, and he's older, so he's like over 70 now or whatever.
You think he knows what a podcast is? That's the biggest hang-up. Do any old people know what a podcast? They know what radio is.
Now you're the ageist. So that is my reason for thinking there's no one 70 here, because I don't think anyone that's 70. It's not that they don't know what a podcast is. It's that's the point in your life when people try to introduce new information to you, you go, shut the fuck up.
Here's the issue.
It's over. You don't care anymore about that. You're not like, I can't wait to go play the newest video game.
70's not really that old. Like, our parents are almost 70.
Dude, that's old.
No, but like 70 when you're 15 is old as fuck. But somebody right now, Ross.
Okay, 5 years older than my parents. Odds they listen to a podcast drop astronomically. But okay, let's say 75. I think that's a fairer. Yeah, because they're. Damn, I'm gonna lose $500 for sure.
I hope so.
But 75. No fucking way you're podcasting at that point. You're not in the game. You're not in the game. If you're 75 right now, it's December 31st, 2021. I cannot buy that there are very many people in that age demographic listening. And if there are a whole bunch, we need to hit up our sponsors and let them know, look, we've also got this age demo so that we can get Depends.
Osteobiflex.
And Osteobiflex and the other old people.
Denture gum.
Old people stuff.
What the denture stuff?
Listen, I'm going to be an old, decrepit, elderly person one day. That's going to happen to me too, and you as well, J-Bone, if we're lucky enough.
Yeah.
If we're lucky enough. And that's the thing. It's not that I don't respect the elderly more than everyone else on the planet. It's just that it's fun to make fun of them, and they can't really do anything except vote, which hurts a lot.
Well, you're going to have an old person's trait soon. You're going to have a bad back because I'm going to blow your back out.
God. Anybody else's fingers hurt? Well, now your back's going to hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty.
Okay, let me guess.
That's from Happy
Heavyweights? Okay. Well, yeah. I always try to guess.
Heavyweights close because it was Ben Stiller that said this, and his character in both movies is the same fucking guy, basically.
We should do a segment that's Jared tries to guess what movie Ross's famous quotes are from.
Damn, this is fucked up. December 28th. That was 3 days ago. Betty White tweeted, "My 100th birthday. I cannot believe it is coming up, and People magazine is celebrating with me. The new issue of @People is available on newsstands nationwide tomorrow." Do you think People is happy or sad right now as a brand?
Okay. For capitalistically happy because they're going to sell a fuckload of these. Because it's memorializing her life, and and they interviewed her, and it's the most recent thing about they're gonna sell
biggest win in People's Magazine's history. You'd have to think
probably. As
somebody's gonna be like, they covered Martin Luther King's assassination. I'm like, shut the fuck up, just leave me alone.
And then I don't think they really think other than capitalistically, so I think they're gonna be happy.
So it's a win.
This. Yeah,
huge win for People. Congratulations to People.
Congratulations to Japan,
and rest in peace to Betty White.
It was funny too. I'd say it's funny.
She crushed those roasts on Comedy Central. She was great.
I opened Twitter after we got done recording earlier, and I looked at my phone. The first thing I saw was like, "Damn, we almost made it through 2022." Or no, damn, Betty White dying right at the end of 2022. First thought, oh,
you mean 2021?
Dude, This is the third time today that I've said that this year is 2022 and next year is 2023.
It's been a long ass year.
What the fuck is wrong with me?
We're all idiots now. You know that speech in Billy Madison where he's like, your answer is one of the stupidest, most idiotic things I've ever heard. Everyone in the room is now dumber from having listened to it. I award you no points and may God have mercy on your soul. That's the year 2021 and what it did to all of us. We are all dumber having experienced this calendar year from hell.
Well, so it's been a internet meme for a long time that you want to troll somebody into making them do something. You say Betty White's dead, make them look it up. They see it's not true. It's like a hoax, right?
Yeah, it's
Betty White dying has been a hoax for years.
It has trended. Betty White's name routinely trends on Twitter, and then everyone on Twitter freaks out thinking she's died because she's very old. That's what old people do. And then she's alive still, and everybody's like, holy shit, it's crazy how many times this has happened. Betty White's still kicking. And then finally, this was the one where no, it wasn't a meme this time. It was IRL, Jared. This wasn't a meme. It was IRL.
When did TMZ actually become like the barometer for shit like this? Because whenever a celebrity dies,
it's been a long time.
Whenever a celebrity dies, I do not trust it until TMZ covers it, and then I know.
I almost want to
true.
say 15 years.
They're like really reputable, like oddly reputable.
I mean, that's built, like if second you start reporting shit that doesn't happen, you lose that credibility. So that's the whole business model. Oddly, TMZ may be one of the most reliable media sources we have left in the United States. That is one of the hardest things I've ever said.
Bum, bum, bum.
Damn it.
You know what TMZ stands for?
Touch my zucchini. What's it stand for?
So it's either 30-mile zone or 20-mile zone.
Neither of those. What's that mean?
I don't know. I think it must be.
Gotta be some reference to like this part of Hollywood where like fucking
It's exactly what I'm guessing.
Sounds like some shit like that. You know what I mean? Betty White though.
30-mile zone was historically used in the film and television industry to refer to the so-called studio zone, an area with a 30-mile radius centered on the intersection of West Beverly Boulevard and North La Cienega Boulevard in Los Angeles, California. There you go.
Can you imagine if we named our shit after some fucking stupid reason like that instead of just my name? What if we named this show
The Cum Zone?
That already exists. You know, Cumtown is one of the most popular podcasts in the world.
People have been making
I still
fun
don't
of
know
it
what
for
it's
years. I mean, it's just like 4 comedians making jokes.
Oh, okay. I mean, I just don't like that they're allowed to name their show Cumtown. That upsets me a little bit because unless your show's about cum or a town made of cum or a town called Cumtown, why are you naming that show that?
Well, there was that one podcast really famous called S-Town.
I love that. That was a great pod. All-time great pod.
John B. McElmore.
Let's call that Ross's 2021 Podcast of the Year. S-Town.
Like 2017.
Fuck, doesn't matter when it came out. I can pick whatever I want. It's my pick. Ross's 2021 Podcast of the Year.
Okay, fine. My
S-Town.
2021 Podcast of the Year is 99% Invisible. They're still doing it.
Okay, Jared.
Great podcast. My favorite podcast.
Dogs are looking at me like, why are you fucking clapping, dude? What's wrong with you?
Do you remember the one time
I was taking a nap, dick?
On the Borslow Zone, which was an episode you can only find on patreon.com/Ross Bolen podcast. If you want to listen to me and my brother troll Ross for an hour, go check out the Borslow Zone.
It was one of the funniest episodes we've ever done, IMO.
So the dogs were in the same spot they're in now, but part of one of the bits, I had a vuvuzela and I blew it in here, and the dogs freaked the fuck out.
Bruce about jumped out the window, dude.
I wasn't even thinking about that. Dogs hate vuvuzelas.
They do. I mean, as do the humans.
That's why they banned him at the World Cup after the South African World Cup.
The South African World Cup that we all suffered through together.
That sound from the stadiums.
I can still hear it right now.
It's my internal monologue.
Yeah. If I stop right now. Yep, I can I watched like every game because I had money on like every game, and the World Cup is just one of my favorite sporting events in the world. I mean, I don't think that makes me a unique person. So most people who really love sports really love the World Cup. It's fun as shit. But yeah, I mean, I watched too much because it was permanently damaging to my psyche, not my eardrums, but my psyche will never recover from the vuvuzela of, what was that, 2012?
2010.
No, it had to be earlier. Yeah, 2010. 2010, yes.
So,
thank you.
And that is a very notable World Cup. Some of the best goals ever because they used the Jabulani ball, which had different patches that made it fucking knuckle.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. Some of the best. It's a Piwe Shabalala, first goal for South Africa. Fucking rocket ship. Then there was that crazy Gregory Vanderveel goal.
Okay, best names of professional athletes. Is it soccer players? Because I think it's soccer players. Coolest names across the sport. I think it's soccer players. They always like because I think of FIFA and I think of them being like Ibrahimovic, and I'm just like, God damn, that is a tight
Kevin
name.
De Bruyne.
Everything they yell out sounds tight. Maybe it's the way they announce it. Maybe that's what it is. But I'm a fan of soccer. I'm a fan of soccer players' last names.
And then remember,
more than soccer.
The old FIFA commissioner before Sepp Blatter, I believe, his name was Tokyo Sex Whale. Tokyo spelled like the city. Sex whale. It's a whale that you have sex with. In Tokyo. The Tokyo sex whale.
That's a tough one to grow up with, I imagine. And at least in America, if you were here. We would make a lot of jokes if you were a child and we were children with you and you were named Tokyo sex whale.
Because Tokyo is like one of the few worldly cities you would know in like an elementary school, right?
And then a sex whale sounds like a whale you fuck, and that's really funny to children. And then also adults who never matured mentally.
Do you know who fucked a whale? Didn't Jimmy John? No, that was a shark. Remember that picture of Jimmy John from Jimmy John's Subs naked on a shark, and everybody thought it was that football coach from UF?
What?
You remember this?
That sounds like something you just spewed from your anus.
Look up Jim McElwain fucks a shark.
I'm not looking that up.
I vaguely remember what you're talking about, and it's not nearly important enough to occupy my time any further. Rest in peace to Betty White. Rest in peace, Virgil Abloh, Michael K. Williams, Alex Trebek, and DMX this year. Those are my notable deaths. If I missed any, it's because you aren't notable. I'm just kidding. Obviously, to all the dearly departed, rest in peace.
Sir Frank Williams, noted F1 legend.
R.I.P. Today's episode is also brought to you by Birddogs. Birddogs, making the most comfortable shorts in the world with the built-in underwear you know and love for living life and making love. It's like, why wear shorts with underwear when you can wear shorts that are even better with underwear built in? Thus creating less laundry, thus saving the planet, thus making you a hero who is also better looking and more attractive. Birddogs, you silly bastard. All you have to do, Jared, is go to birddogs.com, and guess what? If you use the code RBP to support the show when you check out, you're going to get a free whistling football with your order. So get the most comfortable pants or shorts or their brand new joggers, which are phenomenal.
Oh,
Jared and I
them.
have both been wearing them. They're great. I mean, you can literally do anything in them. You could go out to dinner in them, and you could make them look like part of a nice outfit. You could wear them to sleep and be extremely comfortable. You could wake up and go work out and get a workout in. It's like they're that versatile and that good looking and that comfortable. And like I said, you can get them with the built-in underwear, but if you don't want to be a fucking world champion of dressing, then you don't have to get the built-in underwear. You could get them normal style.
It comes highly recommended to get the built-in
underwear. It does. Not only is it really seriously, it's nice to not use as much laundry, they're super comfortable. They're great.
Very breathable. They don't bunch up.
You don't need that underwear. Free yourself. Go to birddogs.com, get some joggers, some shorts, some pants, and throw the code RBP in when you check out. And guess what? That whistling football is free.
This is an audio format. Can you please let them know what a whistling football sounds like?
Yeah, so it's like the Nerf football you had when you were a little kid, except it's a Birddogs football. And when you throw it, to your pal, who's, I'm going to guess you can bomb it at least 65 yards down the beach or driveway, what have you. You have a 65-yard long driveway now. And when you bomb it to him, it's going to be flying through the air, and it's going to go... And you're just going to be like, fuck yeah, birddogs.com, code RBP. Jared, I have a couple of headlines here. These are, this is one I've been waiting to talk about since you left.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because it was announced pretty shortly after you departed to California or wherever you were, that Kanye, you're aware he's going through a divorce with Kim Kardashian. They split up. He did this whole album release thing. Donda this year with like 3 or 4 separate live performances that led up to the album release. She was a part of many of them, at all of them with their children. He's repeatedly stated publicly that he wants to get back together with her. She has publicly stated that she is divorcing him and then publicly appeared with and is dating Pete Davidson from Saturday Night Live, which is also not a thing I ever anticipated saying, but it is a real story, a very real story, one of the most popular stories in the world today. Pete Davidson, one of the great winners of 2021, easily. Pete Davidson's name, very high on 2021's winner list, but we'll get back to that in a little bit. So Kanye is apparently extremely upset about this relationship that has unfolded. And as for all of us who know Kanye, whether you're a fan or a hater, you're aware that he's not a stable individual. I don't even think he would describe himself as such. And that's where a lot of his creativity is derived and his genius. And he does a lot of things that I would consider to be at the highest level in several different arenas, including performance, music, production, and creation of fashion, footwear, and clothing and the like. The dude's a freak, but he's also crazy. So, he bought the house across from Kim's, like the one that's her main home. That was apparently like a teardown. He bought it for $4.5 million so that he can tear it down and build his future home there and keep, be right there. Which, the part of the story that I'm not hearing yet is whether or not she was aware of this beforehand. Like, they may have talked about it. He was like, yo, this would be good for the kids if we could all be right here. Now, I'm having a hard time imagining Kim Kardashian being like, yes, I would love it if you lived 40 feet from me. you're so normal and not yelling out my private business to the entire world at your one and only presidential campaign speech that was publicly broadcast. So, yeah, I'm having a hard time seeing that, but I don't know, and therefore I will not speculate that he's just that nuts. Because if it's, bro, you cannot do this. You cannot, like, if your girl breaks up with you, you can't go, oh, yeah? And then just buy the house across the street from hers. And, like, what, stare at her with binoculars through the window? What are you doing over there? How long is this charade going to go on? Let it go, bro. She's dating Pete Davidson. It's over. If your wife is dating Pete Davidson in 2021, you're done. You can let go and sign the paperwork. That's just, everybody knows. It's not what happened with me, but everybody knows that. All the divorced guys know this rule. If you come home and Pete Davidson is there, it's like that guy with the 2 dogs. You see those 2 dogs in the front yard, you know he's upstairs going hard. If you come home and Pete Davidson is home in your home, your marriage is over.
Yep. Pete Davidson, we'll talk about him later.
It's also like if you come home and your wife is watching Sex and the City exclusively for months at a time. And a show called Divorce consecutively. Your marriage is over. So it's those 2 things, the dogs in the front yard or Pete Davidson, and you're getting a fucking divorce, guy. So it's time to sign the paperwork with an attorney and accept it and start moving forward. And then I can help you. DM me. I spent a long time this last couple years. Hit me up. I can help you out. Kanye, hit me up. It's time to move on with your life, guy. You can be happy. You don't need this shit. Your wife is dating Pete Davidson, sir. Sign the paperwork. Christ. Can't believe I have to do this. Nobody else does it. Nobody seems to give a shit what this... You cannot buy the house across the street from your ex. You can, but you can't. And you shouldn't. Fuck. Here's a quote. It's near Kim and the kids. He has a vision for the house and plans on starting construction ASAP. This is wild because he just bought a $57.3 million luxury modern home in Malibu, which is a 30-minute drive from Kim's, where the kids are.
Well, yeah, but when you spend $57.3 million, I mean, 4.5 doesn't sound like that much.
It doesn't. I want to know at this point what his real estate catalog, its total value is.
He has to have a full-time real estate agent who just manages his properties.
Because you remember, he spent the bulk of the last several years in Montana on a fucking, like...
That was Wyoming.
Wyoming, you know, one of them. Wyoming, Montana, what else fits into there? Arizona's almost in there with them. Idaho is in there with them.
The Dakotas?
Nah, there's not enough... I don't want to disrespect the Dakotas. Do they have any cowboy shit going on? Maybe a little.
I guess.
I feel like there's like 8 people there between those 2 states. Like 5 on one side, 3 on the other, and they throw shit at each other, and that's South and North Dakota.
I knew 2 people from the Dakotas, and when I went to Wisconsin.
Never met a Dakotian.
That's what I'm saying. It's hard. So I went to Wisconsin, and I knew 2 people from the Dakotas.
And that's up there.
And they're
Wisconsin.
both from North Dakota.
Do South Dakotans even exist?
Never met a South Dakotan.
If we have a single South Dakotan listener, I will give Jared 10,000. I'm kidding. I'm not nothing. If that's the odds are way too high that we have one listener from South Dakota.
I mean, I guarantee.
Jared was like, "Give me that money, you fucking asshole." I guarantee
we have double digits.
Hit us up, South Dakotans.
We would be more likely to have.
Is that what they're called?
South Dakotan. Yeah.
Jerry, is that what they're called?
Yeah, South Dakotans.
That's what old white people say to each other.
I actually have a theory that I agree with you. South Dakota is the least state. It is not the least populous state, but it is the least stately state, right? Like they do have the Mount Rushmore, right?
Do they?
Yes.
We haven't taken that from them yet.
Black Hills and Mount Rushmore. However, as far as people being from there, I'm not convinced. I think Carson Wentz, who went to South Dakota State, might be from South Dakota. I don't know where he's from. I think he has propaganda to convince us that South Dakota exists and has people.
Carson Wentz is a government plant to convince the rest of us, that's what Jared's saying, that South Dakota exists and has people that were born in it, residents, citizens of South Dakota. Okay.
That there's people there and it's not just empty land.
Yeah.
I think the state exists. I can see it on a map. And I've seen enough to convince me the state exists. I don't know if people live there.
The other thing about this house is that it was 67 years ago, the former owner bought the newly built home. And that was the only time it has been occupied, owned. Kanye bought it from that person. That is wild as fuck, but also makes sense why it's a teardown. Probably time to update that bad boy. Does it have like... Oh, 1955.
There's nothing.
When was electricity invented? I'm not joking. That's a serious question I have.
Well, Ben Franklin, he flew a kite with a key on it. And
not how. I know it was Ben Franklin kite flying with a key. 1752? Oh my God. I would never have guessed anywhere near that.
Were you going to say earlier or later?
Now it says that's not correct. Maybe it is correct. 1821? Oh, fuck it. Who cares? The internet sucks. How do you not get a straight answer for who the fuck invented electricity?
How did they make energy back in the day?
Michael Faraday invented the electric motor in 1821. George Ohm mathematically analyzed the electric circuit in 1827. It's like I got to read 26 different people's names now. And Shakespeare might not even have been one guy. My life is a lie.
We should start Capopedia. You type something into it. It's like Wikipedia, but you get one fucking answer. It might be right, it might be wrong, but you get what you're looking for.
No Capopedia?
No cap.
Damn. Anyway, that was our first insane headline. Kanye is half a stalker, as Tony Soprano would put it. Second headline from the BBC, my favorite news network. Ross's news network of 2021, the BBC. That is my number one news network of 2021. Finland's prime minister, sorry for clubbing after COVID contact. And if you think you heard me wrong, no, I did say clubbing. And yes, I do mean that kind of clubbing. It's not going to be a story about seal clubbing. It's not going to be a story about some twisted wordplay. It's that the prime minister of Finland is both 36 years old and smoke, and she stayed out till 4 a.m. clubbing right after being told she had COVID contact.
Yes.
That's the story. And it's not, again, I'm not adding anything to it. Like, that's a real thing that happened. Like yesterday. Fucking crazy. Or 3 days ago. Who knows? Well, the internet knows. But first of all, didn't know Finland had a prime minister. Learned that. Huge. Second, didn't know Finland had a prime minister that was 36, or that you could be 36 and be the head of anything. That's only 2 years older than me, Jared. Maybe I'm starting to feel like Cousin Greg in Succession, like I might be able to take a swing at one of these. She's clubbing till 4 a.m.
What's
I feel
her
like
name?
I could help her get her shit together, you know?
What's her name?
Finland's prime minister, Sanna Marin. Ooh, Sanna Marin.
So I had a friend.
Marin.
Marin.
M-A-R-I-N.
Marin.
Okay.
I had a friend DM me on Twitter and said, I just want you to know this is the best tweet of all time, and I can't stop laughing or thinking about it. And then the tweet he sent me was from John Duda, a former coworker of ours.
Oh, shouts to John.
A comedian. And
Duda.
Here's the tweet that he sent me. It is John Duda quote tweeted a tweet. So the quote tweet that John Duda did was literally just a summary of what you just said. Finland's prime minister is 36 years old, went out clubbing till 4 a.m., da-da-da-da-da.
Left her work phone at home and was therefore unreachable to get a text telling her she needed to quarantine.
Exactly.
Or something like that, yeah.
So John Duda's quote tweet of that said, Sanna Marin spit in my mouth challenge.
Sanna Marin spit in my mouth challenge.
Yeah, he wants Sanna Marin to spit in his mouth.
Okay, so it would have been funny to me if you said, I want Sanna Marin to spit in my mouth, but that's just me personally. It's my brand of humor.
Do you want
Shouts
Sanna
to
Marin to spit in your mouth?
No, I do not. Because she's got COVID. And she goes out clubbing till 4 a.m., which just generally, as a rule of thumb, if you club till 4 a.m., I'm past the age where you can spit in my mouth now. I'm sorry. That's just not going to work for either of us.
I wouldn't let any celebrity spit in my mouth.
Here's the thing. I want to move to Finland because my main complaint, if it hasn't been clear enough from this podcast, about my whole life and really America as a country is old people. And we can't get rid of them because they're in all these positions of power and they set their term limits to be things that just fuck the youngs at every turn. Term limits to fuck us at every turn. That was almost a tongue twister. Touch my titties. And in Finland, They've got a 36-year-old babe just getting down until 4 a.m. after being told she might have COVID. She just went, fuck it, I'm going to the club. She's in charge of the country. That's incredible. This is the kind of thing I had in mind when Trump got elected. He got elected and I was like, it won't matter. He's going to do dumbass baller shit that makes America look cool to the rest of the world who already despises us actively, right? Like, there's no repairing that at this point. If you're still delusioned that that's a thing that's going to get fixed, you're fucking crazy. It's never going to happen. But that isn't how it went, necessarily, in my opinion. It wasn't as fun and funny as I imagined. This is hysterical. Madam Prime Minister, you've had a COVID contact trace. You have to quarantine for a minute. And apparently she said, again, that she missed the text that advised her to quarantine. That's the extent of security that they need in Finland. Your president can miss a text and accidentally go clubbing till 4 a.m. 4 a.m.? Nobody came through? What was happening in that club? I want to go to there. Do you know anything about the club?
I've been to a club in like 5 years.
Up in the Club was a song that, damn, I think that was an R. Kelly song. Fuck.
Isn't there a 50 Cent song?
Many Men. Oh, yes, that is another 50 Cent song. Into Club, yes. From Get Rich or Die Trying. One of the best rap albums ever made. Put a pin in that. It's not debatable. So, yeah, Santa Marin, Spit in My Mouth, shouts to John Duda. Apologized for going clubbing after coming in close contact with a COVID-19 case. She went out, a night out in Helsinki on Saturday, hours after her foreign minister had tested positive. She was initially told she did not need to isolate because she had been fully vaccinated, but later missed a text that advised her to do so. Critics questioned her judgment for not isolating until testing negative, according to the BBC. And again, she said she had left her work phone at home, and that's the text went to that phone. So her personal clubbing phone that she had on her was totally unaware of the situation. I mean, their fucking prime minister doesn't even have to take her work phone to the club.
I love the fact that she might have a third phone, like work, personal, and then the clubbing phone. It's just all drug dealer contacts.
And they did like pretty decent with COVID too in Finland, Jared. We should go. We should go.
We can drink aquavit and sing Hey Long Gore. My friend Booty St. Joe studied abroad in Finland, so I know those two things.
We do need to know how many phones she has.
Santa Marin, how many phones do you have challenge?
One is for clubbing. One is for prime ministering. One is for... What did you just suggest?
What?
What did you just say that the other one was for?
Aquavit and Hey Long Gore?
No, before that. Her other phone. Forget it. Yeah, at first she tried to defend herself, by the way, saying that she had followed the advice of her Secretary of State who informed her about the COVID exposure, but then in a Facebook post on Monday, she said she should have double-checked the guidance and used better judgment. Quote, I am very sorry for not understanding that I needed to do that, end quote.
I want Joe Biden to go out into a fucking club until 4 a.m.
Byron? Yeah. This episode of RBP is also brought to you by Cuts Clothing. Guys, work attire has changed. You don't have to wear stuffy, uncomfortable clothes anymore. And Cuts Clothing has reimagined work clothes by elevating the classic t-shirt to something you can wear on any occasion, from a formal business meeting to a casual night out. Everyone loves Cuts Clothing. Elite athletes, entrepreneurs, recording artists, everybody's wearing Cuts and saying it's the only t-shirt worth wearing is GQ. That's a quote from GQ. The only shirt worth wearing. Why waste time wondering what to wear for the rest of the winter, the rest of spring when it comes? They've got something for every freaking season at this point. That's what's great. They've got outerwear now, not just the OG t-shirts, which I'm wearing 3 to 5 times a week, but they've got long sleeve tees that I've got. I've got hoodie tees from Cuts. Now they have incredible outerwear with the power vest if you desire power. The new bomber jackets are very good looking. The Sherpa full zip is quite baller. I mean, you could wear Cuts on every part of your body now and you'd be solid. You'd look legitimately good. So Cuts has your holiday shopping covered. All that Christmas money and holiday money you've got and the Christmas bonuses and extra yearly end-of-year bonuses. What do they call those now? Spend it. Go to Cuts. And you'll get 15% off site-wide at cutsclothing.com/RBP. That's cutsclothing.com/RBP to get 15% off. Plus, can't miss daily deals in December, which today is the last day of, by the way.
It is.
And cutsclothing.com/RBP for that 15% off, though that still applies into 2022. Get in there, do your shopping. At Cuts, they've been a great sponsor all year long. I love their stuff. Some of the best T-shirts in the world. Incredibly comfortable. Very, very good looking. And you really could wear them to any occasion and look solid. Jared, you and I did a segment about where Bing Bong came from. Okay? Do we have the Bing Bong sound effect? Can you hit the Bing Bong sound effect for us there and whenever you get it pulled up? And Bing Bong. Thank you, Jared. The segment caused a clip to be made that was then distributed on TikTok and Instagram and Twitter, all over social media. And what I quickly found out is that this is one of the more controversial arguments maybe in the history of the internet. There are so many different factions of people who believe that Bing Bong originated in a different place than where we said it originated, which is, we claimed we did research. What I meant is, I'm sorry, I should have put this more clearly. I spent 2 minutes on Google. I didn't do fucking scientific research in a library. People were coming at me like, oh, yeah, what's it feel like to do research and still be wrong? And I was like, not good, honestly. Now it feels pretty shitty. Jeez, internet. But it turns out there are like so many different factions that believe they are the origin. They know where the origins of Bing Bong are, and it's not NIMS, it's not Street Talk in NYC. One of them, one of the more outrageous claims, this is being made hundreds and hundreds of times in response to us saying that Bing Bong originated on Street Talk with NIMS. Side Talk, whatever the fuck. Inside Out. The 2015 animated classic, Inside Out. They're claiming that is where Bing Bong came from.
Was there a character named Bing Bong? I don't really know because I watched it.
Never seen it.
I watched it in Costa Rica.
There's too much hate and cuss words in their replies that explain this. I can't tell. So Inside Out is a huge one. That's one of the main ones I noticed. I also saw Joe Pesci in Goodfellas repeated over and over and over. And I was like, you have got to be fucking kidding me. Wu-Tang Clan is one of the ones that I actually bought. Somebody said ODB. Lots of people said ODB. Lots of people said Wu-Tang. That Bing Bong came from Wu-Tang. Apparently, and New Yorkers are pissed, by the way. Very pissed. Like, we probably can never go to New York now. Just based on the fact that we look exactly the same to everyone on TikTok, apparently. And we offended them at a level that I've never seen before. They're very upset. They're like, oh, these two fucking idiots are clearly not New Yorkers. Let's kill them both. Cut their heads off. I'm like, what the fuck? Calm down, guy. Jesus Christ, it's just a Bing Bong clip. Fuck your life. And they're really pissed off, the New Yorkers. Bing Bong.
They're always pissed off, aren't they?
They are. That's kind of their brand. It is kind of their brand, especially the Yankees fans. Fuck you losers. So yeah, then Family Guy. Oh my God. Again, that is not possible. I know Bing Bong got said on Family Guy at one point or whatever. That isn't how origination of anything works. Just because you heard it then doesn't mean that was the first fucking time somebody said it. People were claiming Anchorman. Anchorman.
Here's the issue here. People don't understand. We were saying the origin of the current cultural moment.
Yes,
of
what
Bing Bong.
spawned the meme, the current version that went viral. That's what we were discussing.
We didn't say who was the first human being to ever say Bing Bong.
That was probably a fucking caveman. Seriously. Bing Bong, the first dude in a cave. Jesus, fuck, how fucking hard is it? I just don't know why everybody has to argue so much about everything. Listen to this comment, bro. This is a response to our video, which was we're a comedy podcast. Quote, please get out of your mom's basement and maybe get out to the world. Go watch Inside Out or any children's shows. Okay, so now fucking any children's show. It could have been Bing Bong inventor. Or maybe the fact that this actually came from some of the first children's shows that had sound. A rapper who is not a major artist did not make this. Nims, personal opinion, never heard of him. He probably has kids that watched Inside Out and couldn't get it out of his head.
That's how far down the rabbit hole this guy's gone. He thinks that Nems has children who watched Inside Out, said Bing Bong, and then he started saying Bing Bong.
And he's just keeping the credit. And then we're giving him the credit. And they're pissed at us. It's wild, man.
I thought it was a Trump thing, because I remember
Trump was the other one. He's another one of the huge Bing Bong guys. Bing Bongers. Do we have to? Do we have to ruin every cat? Because I always just thought it was white people that would take the coolest things in our culture and destroy it, and just American culture and destroy it by making it goofy as fuck. But it's not. It's the constant hate, the constant hating on each other that wrecks shit. Like, I can't say Bing Bong now because I read too many comments about being wrong about where Bing Bong came from. It's just not fun anymore. No, it's still fun. Bing Bong!
It's funny, too, how like Bing Bong really took over for like 2 solid weeks there. Like everybody
but
said
that's
it.
about the length of a trend that's even possible at this point, right? I mean, we only talked about the Travis Scott Astroworld controversy for 2 weeks. Like,
yeah,
it's 2 weeks and you're out.
Well, okay, well, we need to start something for 2 weeks then. Say something right now that people are going to like, okay? You have a few seconds to think of it.
I'll say something people are going to like. You say something extremely controversial into the camera, and then we'll ride that wave into 2022 we won't even have to name ourselves the number one podcast.
Okay.
We'll get it from somebody else. Zibbity zibbity zoodah.
Skechers are the best sneakers, and hypebeasts are idiots.
Okay. Skechers. I don't know if that's going to get us to the top, but we'll see how we do. Bing bong. Fuck your life. Today's episode is also brought to you by MyBookie. MyBookie.ag for all the sports betting props, futures, live lines, and parlays you could possibly imagine. If you love betting on sports, you do it already. Do it with MyBookie.ag and support the podcast at the same time. When you use the code RBP upon sign up, and you will get a double deposit bonus, double your first deposit up to $1,000 by using promo code RBP. Stipulations apply. Head to MyBookie today, MyBookie.ag. They've got an app. Put in the code RBP when you sign up. Put in your money. Double your deposit.
Bing
Stipulations apply. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. Casino. Plus, the live casino, which is like if you've ever played in an online casino and been like, oh, it's kind of a bummer. There's no real person. I want to watch a dealer or watch somebody spin the ball. Or they have that at MyBookie.ag, where you sit there and you literally see the dealers dealing the cards or the person dropping the ball into the roulette wheel or what have you. So check out the casino. Go place some bets on the remaining bowl games. I guess we only have the college football championship and the NFL playoffs, obviously, coming up as well. NBA season heating up. Lots to look forward to in the sports world. Go to MyBookie.ag today. Use the code RBP to support the show and unlock that double deposit bonus. Stipulations apply. Biggest winners of the year 2021. Who was the one we named earlier?
Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson. Let's just say he's in the top 3 for sure.
Well,
what a come up.
So I remember, was it 2020 where his engagement with Ariana Grande got called off? They were together like 3 months. They got engaged. It got called off. He went on SNL and was like, where, Ariana broke up with me.
I feel like that was a few years ago, but time is kind of a flat circle for me now, so I don't know.
Pete Davidson's, okay, first off, he dated Cozy David, Larry David's daughter. Very attractive.
2018.
Funny person.
Is when they got together.
They were together. Then they broke up. And he was with Ariana Grande, one of the most famous singers around today. They broke up. Then he was with who the fuck was even after
Kate Beckinsale, Cassie David, Kim Kardashian, Carly Aquilino.
It's a comedian, yeah.
I think that's it. Margaret Qualley, Kay Gerber, Phoebe Dynevor. I don't know who any of these people are.
This is a lot of girlfriends.
I don't know who any of these people are. I don't know. You're young and famous in Hollywood, date people and shit. How old do you think he is?
Oh, he's young. He's younger than me. I know that fucking for sure. He's like 27.
28.
Oh, he's older than me. Wait, I'm 28. Fuck.
Damn, dude. You don't even know how old you are? That's fucked up.
How old are you?
34.
Fuck.
How old is Kim Kardashian?
Shit, 35.
41.
No fucking way.
Yes, fucking way, dude.
Holy shit.
You thought she was 1 year older than me, dude? You thought I was just Kim Kardashian aged? Damn, she's taking good care of herself. Or I've taken terrible care of myself.
Well, you never broke the internet. When are you going to break the internet?
With this ass? 2022. That's why I'm doing squats in the garage.
What you're going to do is you're going to have a grinder in your hand, and you're going to throw weed from the grinder into a bong in your ass.
It's going to be a bong. That's what it is. Somebody Photoshop this or animate it. It's me, butt ass, just, dong hanging or whatever. Bong on my ass, and I'm arching the back, and I'm spitting weed from my mouth into the bong, or you
spitting it? She had a champagne bottle going into a
popping
flute.
it.
Yeah.
So mine could be whatever, Figure it out. Just don't put cum on me. Because I feel like that's what you're gonna do. Where you're gonna go with it. Don't do that shit.
It's Ross coming over his own shoulder.
Oh, no, come, but don't. Why?
Okay, so other
Pete
winners.
Davidson, though, huge winner. I'm serious though. That was a ridiculous come up. Like, not just because he's like a movie star now. He's a legitimate movie star. The King of Staten Island was a huge success. He's a legitimate actor, and Kim Kardashian is one of the most famous and successful people currently walking the earth. Like her, hate her, doesn't really matter. That's inarguable. And it's a terrifyingly dangerous move. He says he's not at all concerned, and I'm like, bro, that just can't be true. Or you're insane too, and then maybe you aren't concerned. Maybe that's the ticket. Maybe. What?
When you look at him, if I showed you Pete Davidson and you had no idea who he was, you would be so confused if I was like naming all the women he's dated. He's not a traditionally handsome man, but he has this look that apparently women are just very drawn to.
People who say this about Pete, though, like people who are like, how is this dude I'm like, you don't understand.
Yeah. I'm saying he's not traditionally handsome. I'm not saying he's a bad-looking dude.
I know, but this gets brought up constantly with him. It's like, look at him. He looks so stupid. He looks like Beetlejuice, or he looks like he's going to die soon. Like, and it's like, okay, bro.
Looks on everything.
Here's my thing. Name me a rock star who is classically handsome. An all-time rock star. You think Gene Simmons from Kiss was a handsome guy?
And you get that tongue. What
was the Aerosmith dude's name?
It's Steven Tyler.
Steven Tyler, freak show. Mick Jagger, freak show. These are not attractive people. Nobody asked questions when they were fucking 4 women at a time doing cocaine off of their assholes or whatever. Nobody asked a single question. But when Pete Davidson starts throwing down just because he's a comedian, everybody gets all butthurt. Shut the fuck up. Let the man do his thing. He's crushing at a rate that no dude probably ever has. It's just good for all of us that there's someone out there still succeeding on that level.
He's also hosting the New Year's Eve thing tonight on like NBC.
The most dangerous pussy in the world, Kim Kardashian, at this point. Kanye West is terrifying and he lives across the street. Fuck that.
People call me the most dangerous pussy in the world.
Who else won this year? Meme stock investors. Huge.
Oh, yeah, some of them.
Some
Depends when you got in.
If December 24th, you're down a bit. Lil Nas X was an obvious, like he dominated this year in many ways, pop culture wise, and took over like a couple months with his album release. And
Blood Shoes.
You look great with titties, man. You just really look great with fake titties for a little bit there. That was fun. Doomsday prediction makers crushed this year, I feel like, and are hot going into 2021 or 2022. We keep being sent this blind old woman who, I'll be honest with you, something about her was unsettling to me. I decided against it. I didn't want to talk about her, so I'll continue not to. People who profit from divisiveness crushed this year for sure. They continue to ride that wave very well. And then, of course, right up there with Pete Davidson, one of the biggest winners of 2021. The Island Boys.
I'm an island boy. I'm just trying to make it.
Just got my vest on, yeah. Just an island boy. Those two fucking idiots weaseled their way into our heads and you probably not, this is a trigger warning, millions of dollars. They've probably made a couple mil off that at this point, I would have to think. If they don't have a Super Bowl commercial coming up, holy shit, they have a terrible agent. And biggest losers of 2021, let's start with number 1. The Island Boys. Those guys suck.
The thing about them, I wouldn't say they're...
They just suck, though, dude. They suck
they
bad.
They do. I wouldn't say they're like losers, though, because here's the thing.
Yeah,
they were probably the biggest losers of 2020 when they had face tats and fucking
no
following.
Yeah, but following does not equal coolness. That's something that many people are confused about, but that isn't how it works. And these two dudes, I've seen a few interviews with them now, and a couple of them where the people interviewing them like ask them questions about cultural appropriation and shit like that, and they get really defensive and upset.
They say they're Cuban,
and
they
then
say we're island boys.
We're Cuban. Then they start like they have like a lot of security and shit now because they're trying to they're
Trying to make it.
They looked. But they have their vest on, so they should be good. And it's just like it's the whole situation. It's so ridiculous, dude. It was one of every year we have a pop culture thing that reminds me and all of us that America is just like the stupidest group of sheeple. Island Boys was our one this year, where even if you knew, like even if you're one of the elitist assholes who thinks that way, you love that song. There's no denying you love that TikTok. It may have been the thing that dragged your ass to TikTok. I bet for a lot of people that was the video that went, fuck it, I'll download TikTok. If there's more of this there, I'm in.
I got a winner for you. Chet Hanks.
Winner, Chet Hanks.
I want to call him a winner because number one, nobody knew who he was. His dad gets COVID.
I did.
Well, okay. I didn't know this first off. Did you know he is the Army veteran in Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yes.
Who Larry doesn't say thank you for your service to?
Yes.
That's Chet Hanks.
Yes.
I was watching that episode live, saw that and went, holy fucking shit.
Yep. Pretty amazing. It's not something I knew when I watched the episode live. That had to be told to me. I did not know that shit when I watched it, but it's crazy. It is. I've seen the episode since then, and it is Chet Hanks. It's fucking nuts.
So he had a huge come up, White Boy Summer, right? Everybody's like, wow, this guy's ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's like the third time he's done this.
I'm just saying
first time was for the Jamaican accent.
His personal brand went up a lot this year. It was very wavy.
You're right. There was a lot of, is Chet Hanks eventually going to get canceled?
He leaned into that, though. He kept doing stuff that was on the line, and he never, in my opinion, at least from what I've seen, crossed it to the point where it's like he's problematic.
You're right. He didn't become irredeemable. He didn't really become problematic. And in the end, the Hot Boy Summer, he was totally credited with that entire movement.
White Boy Summer.
White Boy Summer.
He didn't do
Not
Hot Boy Summer.
Or Hot Girl Summer.
Yeah.
Those are all different summers.
Megan Thee Stallion?
Some of them are sometimes the same. With one summer can be many different things for different types of hot people, it turns out. But yeah, White Boy Summer.
Remember?
I just did not anticipate that catching on.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then he did do the thing where it looked like he was going to be doing a thing about how you need to get vaccinated, and at the last second he goes, nope, and then just goes on an anti-vaccine rant.
Who?
Chet Hanks.
Chet Hanks did an anti-vaccine rant?
Didn't get canceled for that. When I say winner, this is like Times Person of the Year, right? I'm not saying they're a winner because they are a great person, but he personally won.
But we have a biggest losers list.
But I don't think he lost in terms of like his personal brand. I think his personal brand for him went up, for better or worse for the rest of us.
You know his personal brand went down for worse for him and all of us?
Who's that?
Alec Baldwin. Because he shot and killed somebody.
He shot somebody too. People forget. It was a through and through.
Two people.
It was a through and through. He shot, killed a woman. The bullet went through her into the director.
Second biggest loser of the year is the woman he shot that survived. That's not getting any credit. Man. Whatever, dude. Biggest loser. Anyone who thought their student debt would get wiped.
Yeah, that was a big. People were talking about that.
That's
for a while.
not happening. Yeah, it's not happening. You know who holds that debt, Jared? The student debt. Just think about it. Big banks, right? The big banks that give out the loans, they hold the debt that they're going to collect on all of us. And if you thought that old man was going to roll into Washington and be able to convince all the big banks to clear our student debt or lessen it, I've got a piece of Jared's tight little ass I want to sell you in Idaho.
Yeah, I don't think. What's my favorite thing about this? Favorite for a funny reason is that there's so many people who go, "I'm not in favor of having student debt wiped out because I didn't get my student debt wiped out." Like that's always going to be a side of it.
I already paid mine off.
Yeah, like they need to pay me what I pay. Like there's the people who already went through it are never going to be like cool with it. So it's never going to happen.
Well, also the big banks, but and we'll always have that excuse.
Imagine you busted your dick off for 10 years to pay for student loan debts,
Dude,
and then this
20,
kid comes out
30 years, some people.
Well, I'm saying, let's say you worked your ass off, paid them off in 10 years.
Yeah.
This kid comes out of college and is exactly where you are.
And just
after 10
gets
years.
wiped?
Yeah.
That is, I mean, it is a big piece of it. You have to, fairness is a piece of the equation, surely, when they're weighing whether or not to do this. I don't know how that plays into it.
Yeah.
The entire thing is, fortunately, not an issue that I have to personally judge, but I know a lot of people who still be like, dude, I'm still paying this shit. Like, I did not plan on paying this in my 30s, bro. And I'm like, I am so fucking sorry. maybe Byron will got you. And then he didn't. So,
Joe Byron.
yep. Take me on a date. Biggest loser of 2021, probably Travis Scott, though.
The number one biggest loser?
Travis
I would
Scott.
agree.
That is a fall from grace unlike many things I have ever seen, man. Every day, like yesterday, they were like, Dior postpones Travis Scott collaboration. And I was like, Dior, holy shit. I mean, he had more brand collaborations going on with more top-tier brands in the world than anyone I am fucking aware of.
It is extremely hard to get a deal with McDonald's.
Dude, McDonald's, Nike, Dior. I'm just going to Google Travis Scott brand deals. You talk when I do that, usually.
Yeah, it is pretty nuts because McDonald's really doesn't do that many collabs, right? Like they're pretty brand safe. They don't need to. Fortnite. A lot of these huge brands, they don't need to do collabs because it can typically only be bad for them if that person does something fucking terrible.
Look, here's him on the cover of Forbes.
30 Under 30. Travis
Yeah.
Scott.
Yeah.
I only know one song by Travis Scott in Sicko Mode.
I think one of my questions becomes, does he change his hair as one of his things to try to rebrand? Because he's had the same, whip it around style of his hair that's famous on all his little action figures and shit too. And I do wonder if he will change it. What are you crying about? Stop that. Bella's just straight up. Y'all, they're both staring at me.
Yeah, are you
tripping out? If y'all are not about to shit yourselves, you better behave, because we are not done with this show. We're not even close. So strap in. That's it though for my biggest losers. You have any other losers you'd like to call out, or losers that you'd like to throw into the winners bracket, like Chet Hanks? Put the other Hanks brother in there while we're at it.
Who's that one?
Orange County, Band of Brothers.
Oh, that guy.
Hanks.
Billy?
Nope. Jared, did you know that more than half of Americans are on crap health insurance plans with crazy high deductibles and copays and sky high premiums, and it's a nightmare out there?
It's awful.
Yeah, I got my own insurance when I started Bolen Media and became self-employed, and it was awful. It was the worst process ever. You end up not even knowing what coverage you got. You get skewered. That's why today's sponsor, CrowdHealth, exists. It isn't health insurance. It's a better way to pay medical expenses. CrowdHealth is a community of people who are tired of paying for a broken system, a place where you can get simple, flexible, and affordable ways to pay for your own health care. Being in the CrowdHealth community can save hundreds of dollars monthly and put thousands of dollars back in your pocket, potentially. It's a community of health-conscious members who want to get and stay healthy in return for lower prices, so they get rid of the insurance middlemen and try to pass the savings on to their members. 100% of your monthly membership pays for actual healthcare costs, helping the CrowdHealth community stay healthy while keeping more money in your pocket. So membership is a monthly subscription. You can start or stop when it's convenient to you. And simple and transparent pricing customized to fit your needs. They lower your monthly healthcare costs, and you can see any doctor you want. CrowdHealth is able to offer amazing prices because of its community of health-conscious members. But for a limited time, our listeners get their first month free. And after you've been a member, CrowdHealth will include a fitness wearable. That's a 30-day risk-free trial plus a fitness wearable like an Apple Watch. All you have to do is go to joincrowdhealth.com/fit. and enter the code RBP at sign up. That's joincrowdhealth.com/fit, promo code RBP. CrowdHealth is not health insurance. It's a community-powered alternative. Terms and conditions may apply. Jared, hit the stuff to Wikipedia when you hear music.
Grab your light. This is stuff to Wikipedia when you're high.
Stuff to Wikipedia when you're high.
The Wachowskis. Sound familiar to you?
Mike Wachowski from Monsters, Inc.
Sort of, but not Mike. The Wachowskis are the creators of The Matrix,
Okay.
formerly thought of by society as the brothers Wachowski. But Lana Wachowski, formerly known as Larry Wachowski, and Lily Wachowski, formerly known as Andy Wachowski, are American film and television directors, writers, and producers. The sisters are both trans women, meaning the world once saw them as brothers. And collectively now, sort of known in Hollywood as the Wachowskis, the sisters have worked as writing and directing team through most of their careers. They made their directing debut in 1996 with Bound and achieved fame with their second film, you may have heard of it, 1999's The Matrix. The fourth of which, I don't know. I've got too many of them now. But the new one is out. Obviously, a major box office success and now cult classic that has spawned, this a crazy fan base. And Keanu Reeves is like a god.
He is.
In America now at this point. Between that and John Wick and
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Bill and Ted before The Matrix even, is crazy. Anyway, so following the commercial success of The Matrix, the Wachowskis wrote and produced the 2005 film V for Vendetta.
It's a good film.
One of my favorite movies. Didn't know the Matrix sisters did V for Vendetta at all.
Who stars in that? I always forget. They did a great job, but they were behind a mask for most of it. Natalie Portman was...
That's one of the main characters, yes.
But who was the guy?
He has a mask on. I don't know. You know how much knowledge I had to put in my brain for this to even be a possible segment? And you're asking me who starred in V for Vendetta?
I thought it was an A-lister.
Like, I got to be able to come up with that off the top? What if I just start hurling questions like that at you, Jared? You going to like that? You going to like how that feels?
No.
I don't think so. I don't think you'll like it at all. That's called bad podcasting. Bad Jared. I'm going to go get the horsewhip, and we're both going to get COVID again, and then you're not going to have anyone to blame but yourself.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyway, so V for Vendetta, which is obviously, it was based on Alan Moore and David Lloyd's graphic novel, and they did Speed Racer in 2008, which I don't recall, but made a ton of money. I have no fucking clue what that is. It's a live adaptation of the Japanese anime series. That would be why my ignorant, non-anime enjoying ass doesn't know what it is.
You know the song? Go, Speed Racer, go, Speed Racer. Speed Racer. He speeds and he races.
Fair enough.
Not to be confused with Speed Racist. Totally different.
That's the fastest racist in the world.
Yes. He's so
That's
fast.
a fucked up movie.
He'll come at you, yell racial epithets in your face, and run away. You can't catch him.
Dude, the hate crime has been done before you even know it. He's terrifying. One of the best villains ever created. The Speed Racist. What a movie, Jared. Great reference. What a random reference. IMDb that one, if you would, for us real quick, if you're listening. All right, so just a crazy cast. Go check it out. It's a crazy cast, The Speed Racist. And what was I saying? Oh, Cloud Atlas is another one they made that a lot of people are familiar with.
Again, not to be confused with Clout Atlas. Completely different film. Stars a lot of hype beasts.
Yeah, Tekashi is like the VJ of that movie. But yeah, it's mostly about hype beast culture, which Jared joined today as he is wearing a full-blown flying squirrel
sweatsuit,
like swag boy outfit. I don't really know. It's like it's what guys in the Jersey Mafia would wear in 2021, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah,
it also is kind of a sweatsuit, which
pink.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful fit you've pulled off.
It's not flattering whatsoever. It's
I
got
totally
the
disagree with that.
It's got the kangaroo pocket.
I see, but that's the beauty of the kangaroo pocket, Jared. Nobody knows if that's just pocket or do you have some pudge going.
It's both.
It's one of the things I liked about that outfit is that it's flattering, and it can be both. You're right. If you double up, it's hard.
I actually needed
those mafia guys do it though, and they look good.
I needed to cut out the inside of the pocket so my gut can fill up the kangaroo pouch.
There you go. That's healthy. But don't sew the pocket shut so that there's just access to your gut still, right? Yeah, you can get in there. Dun, 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 dun.
Pick out my lint.
There's nothing gut guys love more than finishing a meal and just fucking giving it a slap in front of you to let you know. You think I give a shit about this? I enjoyed my food so much more than you skinny fucking loser. That's what I feel like every time one of those guys does that in front of me. I'm just like, God damn. It's usually my uncle. He just owns me. Finishes them. At no point in the meal do I get to enjoy my food because I'm passing plates to him repeatedly, and he just owns me with the pat afterward. And I'm just like, fuck, that's power. It is. Respect. Respect the gut. You know that you know how we have body shaming issues in America, so it's not as much fun to talk about stuff like this here. But did you know, internationally and culturally, historically, like at one point in Italy, for example, like big old chubby dudes with some gut, big guts, bigger the gut, the more successful you were or whatever. I don't think it was Italy.
It was old England.
Anyway, fat guys got mad laid.
And pale. The paler you were, if you were pale and fat, it meant you were so rich and powerful you never needed to go outside and do anything.
It was a status symbol.
Yeah.
Fatness was a status symbol. And now it's just, I don't even know. It's too many different things. I feel like it's still a status symbol for some people, because it certainly is. In some parts of right-wing America, if you don't think that still plays, you are incorrect. Big boys got pull up there. The big dudes. And they like carrying around that weight.
Big boys drive big toys.
And they have really big, obnoxious fucking trucks and SUVs. Most of which I would drive. Except the trucks. I'm just not a truck guy. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's wrong with me.
It's because you're intimidated by the nuts.
It's my giant dick.
You see truck nuts and you're like, fuck.
Look, not every truck has truck nuts, Jared. They should legally have to have them on there, though. If you purchase a truck, wouldn't the whole world be better if it came with a set of testicles?
I'm sure somebody has made like really realistic, like Hollywood prop level truck nuts that looks like a legit scrotum.
I can't tell if you're fucking with me right now. You're aware that exists, right?
It has to. No,
yeah.
I'm talking like
oh yeah,
prosthetic level.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're getting at. You mean? I bet that exists. Come on, I've seen like the arm hanging out the trunk version.
Yeah.
That looks so real at this point. Like they make really good shit. Whoever's making costume and Halloween stuff, it's probably not American.
Should I hang truck nuts for my 2008 Nissan Sentra SL?
Yeah, I'll even pay for them. The company will pay for them. Yes. If you'll put truck nuts on your 2008 Honda Nissan XL, I tried. What'd you say it was?
The 2008 Nissan Sentra SL. The
Nissan
SL stands
Sentra.
for...
Honda and Nissan are two separate entities.
They are. SL stands for the standard of luxury. It's an incredibly luxurious vehicle. By 2008 standards.
Sick.
Tell me more about the Wachowskis.
Oh, back to the Wachowski sisters. Sorry. How disrespectful of us. That's my bad. Back to our stuff to Wikipedia when you're high. So, Lena publicly revealed her transition after Speed Racer's release in 2008, and by December 2010, trade magazines and newspapers had started referring to her as Lena Wachowski, and to the duo as Andy and Lena Wachowski. So at that point, I'm assuming, at least in the inner circle of Los Angeles or wherever they were here, that I don't know where these I'm assuming Hollywood trade magazines had started referring to them as such. In July of 2012, Lena made her first public appearance after transitioning in a video discussing the creative process behind Cloud Atlas. Lena is the first major Hollywood director to come out as transgender. In a September 2012 interview with Alexander Heeman of The New Yorker, Lena described an incident in third grade at Catholic school when she was hesitant to join the boys' line and unconsciously accepted herself as belonging to the girls. In October of 2012, she received the Human Rights Campaign's Visibility Award. In her acceptance speech, she revealed that once during her youth, she had considered suicide because of her feelings of confusion about her gender identity. Her acceptance speech was one of the longest public appearances by either of these reclusive sisters. So that's one of the things about the Wachowski sisters. They are not out and about and running around the red carpet and on Keeping Up with the Kardashians and running their Instagram accounts into the ground with selfies and pictures of their food and dogs. They're a little reclusive. Lena said that although she and Lily had not publicly commented on her transition during the previous decade, it was not because they were ashamed of it, nor had she kept it a secret from her family or her friends. They're just very shy about the news in private. That's it. Which is, I think, generally my favorite celebrities end up being the ones that are like, please fuck off. Like, please, just leave me alone. I get enough attention. Those are my fave. Like Leonardo DiCaprio's like that a lot of the time. It's one of the reasons I think he's as cool as I do.
He's too famous, though.
He doesn't count. Yeah, he doesn't count.
It's got to be somebody like...
I'm trying to think of a good example.
Well, Justin Bieber hates being harassed, but he's also incredibly famous.
Donald Glover is an example of somebody that I think of as extremely cool.
Who else is cool?
I don't know. Let's just go down my list of people I think is cool. That's what we'll do next.
Tyler, the Creator. Do you think Jack Harlow is cool?
Yeah, Jack Harlow's cool as shit. I like him a lot.
How about...
I think Pete Davidson is cool. I really do. No bullshit. I do not have anything bad to say about that dude. There were points in his career where I hated on him. For sure. I think all white dudes have at some point hated on Pete Davidson. That's the thing we all have in common. But no more. I shan't hate anymore.
Unless he deserves it.
Well, yeah, of course. In that case, if he earns it, I'll shit all over him. But until then, I shan't hate on him anymore.
What about Bob Saget?
What about him?
Do you hate him? Think he's cool?
I don't really care one way or the other. I thought he was funny as shit for a certain period, but like I wasn't a Full House guy, all right? So it wasn't that funny to me when he was like, "Hey, I'm a fucking pervert." And everybody was like, "Holy shit, the dad from Full House is a pervert." And I was like, are we all? You know? Aren't we all?
We are. Yeah.
Philosophizer. Back to the Wachowski sisters. So, they don't like the media. They're private. Blah, blah, blah. Let's get to the part that I was trying to find where I was, and here I am now. Oh, explaining her decision to appear at the HRC event, Lena said, "There are some things we do for ourselves, but there are some things we do for others. I'm here because when I was young, I wanted very badly to be a writer. I wanted to be a filmmaker, but I couldn't find anyone like me in the world. And it felt like my dreams were foreclosed simply because my gender was less typical than others. If I can be that person for someone else, then the sacrifice of my private civic life may have value." In February 2014, Lena received the Freedom Award from Equality Illinois at their annual gala in Chicago. In March 2016, Lily Wachowski also came out as a transgender woman, issuing a statement to the Windy City Times after a visit from a reporter from the Daily Mail newspaper had attempted to get an interview with her. It sounds like the Daily Mail was basically going to out her. I'm not really sure what the circumstances were here, but she ended up doing an interview with somebody else. And this is obviously, it's just something you don't hear about often, right? Two brothers transitioning, and now the Wachowski sisters. And they're as renowned as they are, having created one of the most successful movie franchises in the history of movies. Keanu Reeves, Jared.
Keanu.
He dodges bullets. I'm not sure if you've seen it with the, you know?
It's like a cultural thing.
Red pill, blue pill. Yeah, it really is, though. How many memes come from the Matrix? The very fucking phrase, or being a red pillar or a blue pillar, all that shit is from the Matrix. They actually, the Wachowski sisters, have since explained that the Matrix and the entire story is an analogy for transitioning. I'm not kidding. Some of you might have been like, is he trying to make an off-color joke right now that he's not going to get away with? No, that's like a thing that's happened in many interviews. So it's just cool to me that these are reclusive people who are still going out and doing public stuff for the sake of trying to help other people who are like them. That is something I can identify with. There weren't many people that I saw when I started doing this talking about anxiety and depression that were dudes. There just weren't. Or mental health. It wasn't a thing. And I had all these panic attacks and was like, what the fuck, man? I'm just going to start talking about it. Screw it. And it actually worked out. So, huzzah. What I'm saying is I'm just as much of a hero as the Wachowski sisters and as much of a creative genius, even though I haven't made The Matrix.
And as good of an actor as Keanu Reeves.
Also, I am saying that as well. Yes, thank you, Jared, for your help. Where was I? Man, I do this weird thing now where when I'm talking to you and we're not on the outline, I just scroll back and forth, which is really not good. I need to stop. Why am I trying to flick the bean with this mouse pad while we're trying to do our show here?
Well, Lana and Lily are self-proclaimed gamers.
That is true. This is one of the more interesting things that I found about them on this Wikipedia is that it just says straight up as one of the bullet points, Lana and Lily are self-proclaimed gamers. As teens, they spent their weekends in the attic playing Dungeons and Dragons. They liken the process of their gaming sessions to their process of filmmaking. Along with some of their friends, they wrote a 350-page role-playing game of their own called High Adventure. Do you think they were high? Because if you write a 350-page role-playing game, you either high or a nerd on another level that I didn't know was possible.
Mm-hmm.
No offense, is what it is. Go nerds. Sometimes I'm one of you. But 350 pages worth of role-playing game need not be written by anyone, really. I mean, I don't know. People do what you need to do. Anyway, The Matrix, V for Vendetta, Cloud Atlas, and more. the Wachowski sisters. And that's why we don't know much about them or hear much about them. They're very private people, but also very inspiring. And a rare story. Huzzah. In closing, I would like to make some comments about currency. Not the money. We're not going to talk about inflation. The rapper. Currency.
With a dollar sign.
With the dollar sign instead of the S or whatever. Yeah. So, the other day I tweeted, Currency continues to be criminally underappreciated because he put out another album and I was listening to it and I was like, God, this guy's so good, man. Nobody ever talks about this dude. Nobody ever gives him any credit. I never see him anywhere. Maybe he's also not that keen to the public eye. I don't know. He does seem to rap about it. He has a line that he's like, famous enough to get in there for free, but not so famous that people keep bothering me. And that's one of the coolest things I've ever heard anybody say, where I was like, oh, that's the dream. Why the fuck would you want people bugging you all the time? Remember how many songs Eminem made about not being able to take a shit without someone standing by the restroom and bothering him? Like 7 songs. Anyway, so I heard Currency in 2015 for the first time, which I'm aware for any hardcore Currency fan right now. They're like, oh, fuck you, you just got here. Just chill the fuck out. Canal Street Confidential was the name of the album, and I loved it. And I was like, damn, this is one of my favorite rappers. And I don't know much about him, and he has a lot of other mixtapes and random shit, but like, he's not a guy that comes up in my circle a lot or in Houston a lot, to me at least anyway, or in Austin certainly. So I've kind of been a passive fan, I would say, since then, but a fan for sure. And he put out this new album, I'm listening to it, and then I started scrolling down his Spotify, looking for Canal Street Confidential, the first one I ever heard that I played over and over. Jared, he put out 38 albums between the two.
In 6 years?
Three and then an 8. Like 38.
So over 6 albums a year.
In a 6-year period, the man pumped out 38 albums on Spotify.
How long are these albums?
Some of them are 8 songs, some of them are 20 songs. So it's pretty varied. Some of them are like collaboratory projects with other artists, like where it's like and then like 20 of them are just. It's fucking insane. I've never seen anyone put out that. It's like he's operating on a mixtape rapper level, like some of the local Houston guys I know. Like this is how like Zero rolled back in the day. He put out 30 joints so that he could keep getting out of record deals and keep putting more stuff out on the streets. I don't think that worked out for him, that strategy. By the way, if you're a young rapper listening, like don't replicate that, please, because then he made a whole bunch of albums about how that didn't work, and they all screwed him out of his money. So yeah, my point is Currency rules, and also there's way more Currency than I was aware of, which is huge. So I have to go catch up on 38 albums worth of material, which seems daunting. If anybody can throw a few of their favorites at me, Currency fans, that would be very much appreciated. Jared, I wrote a joke before we recorded that now doesn't make sense about how I might have to institute a dress code for the show in 2022, but then you showed up looking like a fucking swag squirrel lord, and I can't make that joke anymore. So
I'm better dressed than you right now.
Yeah, that's inarguably true. Although I do have some kind of a suicide prevention shirt on. It says, keep showing up.
Yeah, shouts to Carp, listener.
Who sent it to us?
Yeah.
That's who sent it?
Yeah.
Carp. Thank you, Carp. I'm still not clear on where it came from, other than the
He knows
name is
somebody
Carp.
who makes them and donates all the money to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.
No shit. Tell him to send us a link and I'll tweet it out or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, he'll hear this.
Huh?
He'll hear this.
Thank you, Carp, for this shirt. I really like it. I've been wearing it all day. That's not true. I had on another outfit for the other show we did before. I want to be honest here. I'm transparent and honest, and that's what I do. I'm a candle of truth, light in the dark, Jared. That's what Jared told me right before we started the show. He said, Ross, I just want you to know, as we close out with the last episode of the year, you're a candle of truth, light in the dark. And I said, Jared, I love you.
Kiss me.
And then we kissed passionately. And after the show, I am still going to take him out back and spank his tight little ass one more time before 2021 closes out. Fuck, I have to be honest, fuck this year. It was, on the whole, not like on my personal level, it was productive, but like, no. That's 2 in a row now. So let's be hesitant, cautious going into the next one. Don't get too crazy with these. This is my year shit. Let's just be chill. So far, I think we've done a good job. I haven't seen too many crazy resolutions like next year I'm going I'm a $400 million business and shit on my parents. And I'm like, dude, chill out. Let's just get through this pandemic. Nobody's done that yet, so let's just chill. Let's not screw with the vibes. This has been ass. Inevitably, there's a swing the other way. It has to happen. That's how things go in the world. They go back and forth. And there will be another one. And just, be patient. It's going to be cool. Happy birthday, by the way, to Maria Bruce. Thank you for all the support. Duncan McFadden as well. Happy birthday, and enjoy the weird little birthday video your girlfriend asked me for on. I got a DM. This happens sometimes because I'm not on Cameo.
I can get you on Cameo. I have a contact.
Fuck that. No.
I'm on Cameo.
No, thank
Buy
you.
a Cameo.
Jared's on Cameo. Buy a Cameo of Jared. But they'll say, can you send me a video? My boyfriend's birthday's coming up, and he's a big fan. So I usually do some dumb shit. Like in this one, I think I took a huge bong rip and then like blew it into the camera, like coughing, and then was like, I said something stupid. Who knows? I was high. But, I'm sure it was great. Phenomenal. Happy birthday, dude. I worked really, really hard on it. I put in hard work on. I really did have to do 2 takes because the first one I coughed up some spittle and it looked kind of gross. And I was like, okay, I can't send this out because then she's going to put it online and people are going to be like, Ross is losing his mind, which I think a lot of people think anyway. And I don't want to encourage that type of talk.
You had spittle?
I'm trying to compose myself. We're so close to the end. Oh, God. The edible's hitting. Free Cameo over here, apparently, though. So holler at me if you want me to make a video for your loved one for 0 cost. That's probably, mediocre at best. But if you want some good shit, Jared, you know where to go? Patreon.com/Ross Bolen podcast, where you and I do an ad-free episode every single week. We just put out one of my favorite episodes we did this year. To close out 2021 on Patreon. But every Friday, ad-free, patreon.com/Ross Bolen podcast is the place you can find the 3rd installment of RBP. There's the Monday episode, a Wednesday episode, then the Friday episode, unless it's a holiday or a holiday weekend or the end of the year, really, because I had people yelling at me all week, where's the episode? Where's the episodes?
A lot of people didn't work this whole week. We worked.
I'm like, y'all got to calm down. It is 5:54, December 31st, and Jared and I are still here.
I want people to appreciate that. It is literally almost 6 o'clock on December 31st. A lot of people are out there already getting drunk. Ross and I are in the studio grinding.
That is true.
On each
Very
other.
True.
I got my fucking ass all up against his fucking jeans.
God damn it, Jared. You're just making me too horny to go on. So we'll stop the show and go make sweet, passionate love to take it into 2022. Because, Jared, I don't know if you know this, but love fucking wins, man. Fucking wins. Thank you all for supporting us all year long. Please go to Patreon and join us for mental health minisodes monthly. There's columns that come out every month. Content Cade just wrote you a new column that's going to come out. I've got the Bolen Media monthly update coming out, which will also sort of serve as a 2021 recap for Bolen Media. On the whole, we had a huge year for Formula Bone, our new F1 brand, launched, owned, operated by Mr. Borislow under Bolen Media, and he is killing it. He has 75,000 followers on TikTok already. And if you're trying to put that into your brain, getting that many followers on TikTok in that span of time is amazing. By yourself, especially, like alone. I haven't done any of it.
Content Cade helps out.
Well, he does the clips for us, for sure.
Yes.
Content Cade. But I mean, in terms of content creation that he then clips up. It's just J-Bone, man. He's writing that, producing it, editing it, and putting it onto the internet totally by himself, which is a really cool feat that I am super proud of him for, and he's very proud of himself for, I hope. So here's his toes, his feet, his really cool feet.
Yes.
To close out 2021, because we did need another video of me being just engorged by the bottom of your soles of your feet that are, again, shockingly clean. For anyone who knows Jared, I don't know how to explain this to people. No one will believe me if I tell like the old crew from the old company, like the bottom of Jared's feet are super clean. Nobody would believe that.
You could eat off the bottom of my foot.
Like just one slice of tomato?
And lick your fucking plate clean.
Is the plate your bottom of your foot too?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Would you like that?
I mean, I wouldn't stop you.
I think that means yes.
But like, I don't stop my dog from licking my foot, you know?
Somebody's only tried to do something I didn't like to me once, sexually.
Finger in the bum.
And I stopped it.
It was finger in the bum.
No comment.
I know it was.
But I stopped it because I was shocked, and I didn't really know this person like that. Like, You don't just, you have to know each other for that move. If you didn't know that, I don't know what you do know. But you can't just be like, first time you hook up with somebody trying to stick your finger in their ass. That's at least second base, right? Let's have some standards. It doesn't matter. Just fuck each other in every hole. The world is coming to an end, and it's certainly the end of the year. Do each other in every hole. That's what I want. The message I want to deliver to you, leaving this show, exiting this calendar year. Please go to patreon.com/Ross Bolen podcast and then do each other in every single hole.
Consensually.
Yes, of course. Consensually. Do each other in every hole. And we'll see you on the other side. Jared, you want to say anything? That was mine. Do each other in every hole. What's yours? What's your motto for 2022? Do each other in every hole. What's yours?
Get flexible enough so you can lick your own foot. Do stretches, do yoga, do whatever you need to do. By the end of the year.
You're going to do this?
No, I want other people to do it and then send me pictures.
Oh, yeah, I guess mine was you. I want to.
I actually think I think I could lick my own foot if I tried right now. I think I could. I'm not going to.
No, that's for Patreon. If you want to see that, you got to be on Patreon.
I legit think I can lick my own foot.
All right, next Patreon episode, Jared's going to try to lick his own foot. Be there or you'll miss it.
Patreon.com/Ross Bolen podcast.
That's right. Now, what was my thing? About holes?
Oh, have sex with all the holes. Every one of them.
All
Consensually.
Now go fill up those holes. God bless you and good luck and good night and
see you next year.
We will see you next year.